OpenCity doesn't allow you this. Every first story tells you that this logic can only see a single phase, and OpenCity cannot see two phases together or a single phase. If two phases are actually cut off, it won't see even a single phase. It must see only a single phase. So if I see a single phase, and the second phase is also visible, no, if the second phase is working, it still won't see it. OpenCity is a phase that sees it in a certain way. How will it analyze it? First, it tells you the operation in the system is at how many hertz. It tells you that it must see your bias current between 10 to 110% of the full load current. That's good for 50 years, and after that it sees that there is an actual phase weight, meaning the current has dropped after 50 years. After 50 seconds, it must also see that the currents are from 0.1 or 10. I'm telling you, I'm still explaining the scenario. The scenario tells you that you must see that your bias currents are greater than 10%, up to 10% of your float current for a duration of 50 seconds, and then the phase drops to 0, while the other two phases remain the same. Now you're telling me the best, or how is the voltage? Well, there is no current at all. But this dropped to 0, and the flight, you know, 60 others will see this. Where do you find this? OpenCT, it told you that line differential has a built-in advanced OpenCT detection feature. This thing can close open procedures that have been fixed through the open governorate in an open state. You see that there is none. It is certain that the key area will provide assistance in eliminating the key assistance. The key area can be determined in about 14 milliseconds. And the differential protection might, at that time in some cases, have already issued a trip command, meaning sometimes the differential might operate forcibly from the OpenCT. The OpenCT needs 14 milliseconds to operate, but the differential might operate in a shorter time than that. After 50 seconds, that's its time, meaning it's activated. Look, pay attention, this information is available here in the manual. Look, if we are in another manual, Azuz, the same thing, the technical manual has changed. What will the technical manual tell you? It will tell you there must be investigations for the different protections through the normal mode. The second materials can also be destroyed due to more moving airports through the moving area station. It is always a kitchen in terms of confirmation and theory to have a view of the confirmed area, to have a view of the confirmed area, to have a view of the confirmed area, to have a view of the confirmed area. And at the same time, a signal car will be made for the moving person. The issue can be launched or closed in the key area. When this issue is launched, the key area must be moved to the key area through planning the key area on the other side, achieving the area. If you have a real push, yeah, if they transport the 3, or even the 3 of 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 the C. To ensure blocking of the differential protection for OpenCity condition, this algorithm must operate within 10 milliseconds to be able to prevent the unwanted operation. The principle is to detect an OpenCity simpler better, Belaki similar to, I don't know where we want it. We are supposed to push the Open simply better, rather it should be simply better. Assume it using control from size 2. It looks at the group, which is crucial, at Isontu. OpenCT principle. Current in phase with OpenCT drops to 0, while other phases continue. OpenCT function detects OpenCT normally. In higher area phase, it drops quickly. This is the same for protection when the heat of the 3 different ones continues as it was, before it continues with the investigation. An OpenCT opportunity should be introduced under normal conditions. This involves the gathering process. The OpenCity condition cannot be detected. It means it must be under low condition. The open city algorithm only detects an open city if the load on the power transformer is from 10% of the rated load. All good? Outside this range, an open city condition is ignored. If your load is less than 10%, it will not work. The load current is very low. An open city cannot be detected below 10%. You have to bomb. And the speaker was saying, oh, yes, operating below 10% means it shouldn't drop. Below 10%, it must be cut off. Yes, he's telling you here that it won't detect at all. The open city logic won't be active as long as the planes operating are below the 10% range. He's saying no. If the load of the power transformer is low, yes, look here. The open city algorithm only detects an open city if the load is between 10% and 110%. That's why above, look at the collection above, if the load currents are very low. And it finds an opportunity to release the house from 10 to 110. And that's why above, just bring all above, the load currents are very low. It's zero like operation, 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 like operation. The first load. Then he told you that the difference opens the city after 60 seconds. If you are working in what? In 50 hertz or 50 seconds in what? In the 60 hertz, we are working on a 60 hertz system. So after 50 years. 100 and final 110. 60 years. Or 50 seconds in 60 hertz in a 60 hertz system, which means 60 seconds that I told him, 60 seconds in a 50 hertz system. A beginner wouldn't know that 50 hertz is already known, all right? 60 hertz, I saw it in the manual, and the other is fine. But 50 in a 60 hertz system, you sense the base current, okay? What current is it that makes it start? Like the spool, okay? Here it takes 60 seconds to say, this is an open city case, right? I'll tell you, translate here. 50 hertz, 60 system without base current, enter like this, meaning you close this line, that's good, with a light load. With a light load of only 5%, but it won't work, nothing will work, this function, but it actually exists, right? As soon as the current enters the range, from 10 to 110 of the rated load, this function will start counting 50 seconds. After the 50 seconds, it is ready that if a phase loss occurs, it will tell you that you have an open state. Yes, yes. And we are talking about an activity understood since 2016, since the region became united. He understands the function, and when he understands the function, if he wants 10 milliseconds, but 10 milliseconds are not possible, you can use it in the second manual. He told you 14 milliseconds extra and a half. 2, he told you that it does a different block, but perhaps in some cases it does not help you. It does not help you, it does not help you, it does not help you, it does not help you. So it told you it works, but maybe in some cases it might not help you. I will help you. Yeah, it might not necessarily help you. Yes? So here it told you even something here. It told you, I don't know, look, it tells you, however, since there is no guarantee that the open CTR goes, prevents an unwanted disconnection of the protected circuit. It means it's telling you, but look, it's telling you, but what? This is the sentence you're talking about. There's no guarantee that the open CTR goes, prevents an unwanted disconnection of the protected circuit, meaning it doesn't guarantee it for you. There is no possibility to release the scattered area from releasing the moving area because they haven't been disconnected. Okay, but it works, but it gives a loop. Okay, but it works, but it gives a loop. Okay, but it works, but it gives a loop. Okay, but it works, but it gives a loop. Okay, but it works, but it gives a loop. Okay, but it works, but it gives a loop. Okay, but it works, but it gives a loop. Okay, but it works, but it gives a loop. Okay, but it works, but it gives a loop. Okay, but it works, but it gives a loop. Okay, we arrived at the national home here. We arrived at the national home here. We arrived at the national home. This is a local trip with restrain, unrestrained, and blocking second and fifth harmonics. The difference and open city alarms are key. The open city alarm triggers instantly or after a delay, activating 1 second after detecting an open city. The setting activates the differential alarm, and the open city triggers instantaneously, and the open city alarm. This is the one that triggers after the time delay from the setting here. South City triggers 1 second after it detects an open city, all right? Nice. And then what do you have next? All set. After that, here you have this a bit. It's like, yeah, this, then you have this for the sides. I mean, look up there, what is written for you? It says honestly that this trip is right.
What is written for you?
This one, this is for between the sides. I mean, look up there. What is written for you? It says honestly that this trip is a common trip about prison, right? General trip from differential protection system means that it requires local or remote. That is why this is what you use in your robot. Make it above where? Above where? This is local only. This is local or remote. Here, local or remote, phase 1, 2, 3. Here, trip is local only or remote. Phase 1, 2, 3, here it's trip local only. And as follows, FZAT, and I want to try the remote. This is the inter-trip receiver, the different French. The inter-trip receiver, the right receiver, and this is the different block. This block is now, I am using it. So now, when will it happen when both sit? But this block signal doesn't actually come out with the channel. So what do? So we suggest we come here like this. And we say insert hardware channel. Choose the LDCM, take the communication fill. Do the same for hardware channel, binary input. And 303 in its originality. Does it take these two like this? You're telling me about the differential block. It doesn't come out if what? I mean, I'll show you. Are we going to do it now? So, if you have a communication fail, the lamp doesn't trigger the block, right? It doesn't come out. We'll show you now. You mean both. And what happens? The lamp doesn't trigger the block. It doesn't enter them into the tool, right? It doesn't give you an indication on the tool. If you connect this to the block, see what comes up. If you connect it to the input called block, what comes up? Of course, this is what I'm telling you. If you haven't specified it, I mean, you're not specifying here to make a block. It's the antenna that makes the block. I mean, you were talking about it, so if you don't connect it, it's a reason from the tool. Just a reason from the tool, but it makes a block. What block? The antenna on both sides, and it becomes a block, exactly, just normally. But for you to output it on the tool here, just say manage signal, and I'll just remove these extra things that I don't want. Okay, just like that, I'll take this signal here, try it out. Try what? I mean, sometimes it connects. Sometimes it connects. Okay, I'll leave it initially not connected. Okay, that's the idea, but how does it connect? It connects in fibers, like this. We'll do off and off, turn on and on. And like that, there's no fiber, and we'll see if this will work out or not. Okay, is that it? What's the block exactly? We're done. If you turn one off and one on, no. One off and one on, we'll see it. We'll try everything, no problem. Done. I'll move this and move that. Done. Oh, if you have one end off. I mean, it's also not preferable to gather the currents outside first. What does he mean by this? Now, the restraint here in ABB, what is it exactly? What is important? I mean, it's also not preferable with the currents outside first, as this will enable possible bias current from both cities to be considered in the current in the French algorithm. And in that way, assuring that the correct restraint will be possible, as this will enable possible bias current from both cities to be considered in the French algorithm. Do you understand what he's trying to convey here? Now, what is the restraint here exactly? The biggest winner, so if you collect the current from outside, for example, assume that this bus operates. One part of it goes into the line, for instance, to Egypt, and another part goes to Gaza, for example, the lower line. This means if the current is collected outside together, how much enters the relay? Okay? Only half of the current enters the relay, right? Am I wrong? Even though it's assumed the biggest winner operates with how much? One full current. So, it tells you that you have lost your actual bias current. That's why it advises you not to use it, meaning it's preferable not to collect them outside.